Good. Good
Hello,
evening,
good
Z.
evening, good evening. Why is it dark on this side of the room?
You set the lighting up.
Oh, boy, oh boy.
Do you want to adjust it?
I, I don't know, you taller than me, you could. Is it like that? Okay.
Hey, Daryl. Good evening
Good evening,
from North
Darren, from
Kakalaka.
North Carolina. Good evening, Dee. How are you guys doing?
I'm trying to send this to Angelica.
Are you trying to send it to
Mm-hmm.
Angelica? Okay. I hope so. So here we are today. We had a long weekend, as
Mm-hmm.
always. We're always traveling. It seems like we're always traveling. And this weekend was
Because we are.
this weekend was stayed me for the level 7.
Yep.
There were some good things and some not so good things.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, they
Yeah.
did pretty well.
They had some personal bests.
Right. They
Mm-hmm.
overcame some hurdle that they things that they couldn't do before.
Right.
I gotta tell you that I don't get starstruck too much. And the young lady that we have on today, when I met her in person,
Mm-hmm.
because she was like my hero when she competed. So I was starstruck for a second, and then I told our girls, you know, my stepdaughter, your daughter, I said, go and take a picture with her.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know.
At Congress, at Gymnastics Congress.
She didn't know who she was, but okay.
Hey, Angelica.
But it was funny. So
Angelica is on watching.
Yes.
Actually, let me send it also to
Ashley.
Ashley,
Well,
who is one of our former gymnasts turned coach,
right,
who has now moved along to a career in law enforcement.
Yes.
Quill is hey Quill.
Quill.
I guess he wanted a shout out to Angelica, huh? So I'm gonna forward this to Ashley too.
Well, we don't want to do the host chat too long because she's gonna be with us for a short time. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that we get everything in there. But I tell you, I went to this competition with Michaela. And I said, listen, do you know Host Spivey? And Michaela didn't know who I was talking about. And I kept saying, no, she was a 1988 Olympian, right? And she still didn't know who she was.
Who, Michaela? Coach Michaela?
No. The meet we went to.
Oh, Michaela Skinner. Skinner. Okay.
And she didn't know. And she said, no, I don't know. I said, she holds the records for the most 10 in college history, right? And she said, no, I still don't know. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. And then I felt so embarrassed because when I left, I started doing the math. And I realized Michaela wasn't born yet.
Yeah, Michaela is quite a bit younger even than I am. So
yeah. Well, the thing is that I think we have to acknowledge this gymnast from the past. And one of the things that people were calling me about when Betty was competing is because, of course, you know that I probably should pick a bone with her, but in 1988, I did that world record.
And she overshined you with her.
She overshined me on beam. And you know, I was recognized for that, but then I saw her on the beam. I said, not only does she have strength, but she has grace, and you know, and she's just an unbelievable, graceful, beautiful gymnast. She had the beauty and the strength combined, and it's a pleasure that you say, you know, saying honor that you say yes to us to come and talk to us, because Jacob is on.
Yeah, so we're going to give a little bit of an intro for our guest tonight, for Betty Okino, who is a retired American gymnast, and you guys will know this name also, who was part of the Caroli six-pack. So she helped the U.S. team in 1992 win its first Olympic team medal. So in a non-boycotted Olympic Games, because there was a lot of drama with being boycotted, or gymnasts or countries not being able to compete. So, and we are wrapping up Women's History Month, you guys, the month of March. So I thought it was very appropriate to have her come on this final Monday of Tweed Talk. So this is the last Monday in the month of March. So we thought it would be excellent to bring someone on who has done so much for the sport of gymnastics, and who will go down in history as one of the someone who did.
She's a legend.
Yeah, a legend. A legend. There you go.
Okay, before we bring her on,
you want to play something?
I gotta show you something. This is.
Oh, that's when you met her.
Look how young I look.
Okay, honey. You always look younger when you're standing next to someone younger than you.
And this is her.
And with Angelica and Ashley, who were coaching with us at the time. Angelica is my oldest, and she is now not even living home anymore. Ashley is no longer coaching with us, and she is now in a career of law enforcement. So they had the honor of meeting her.
And this is her. And then everybody forgot this.
It's okay, honey. It's okay.
Okay, so I'm going to play a video, and then we're going to bring her on. Okay?
All right.
Here we go.
And boy, what a vault she did. This is a true come out. Look at the height and the distance and a great landing. That is a 10.
And we'll take another look as Okino 5'1", and she looks more like she's 5'9".
She does, with those long arms and long legs. When she's extended, she can look 6 feet tall. Again, notice the height off the horse and the distance and an incredible landing. Great job.
And from overhead, you see it's just as perfect.
Definitely. The landing, I think, was key for her. If she hadn't stuck with the landing, she wouldn't have gotten that 10. And look at Bella. Boy, is he happy.
Welcome to Tweed Talks, everyone. Betty Okino.
Hi.
Hello.
What an introduction.
Welcome to Tweed Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure and an honor.
We are so excited, especially as I had mentioned before, on this day, the last Monday of the month, and wrapping up Women's History Month. So, we are so glad that you agreed to come on this particular Monday.
Sadly. Well, there were a couple of guests that we had in the past that mentioned your name, and I said, you should have her on. You should have her. She's so inspirational. And I already knew that. So, now here we are. Daryl was one of them.
Yes, Daryl talked
Daryl was one of them. Yeah.
Hi, Daryl. Is Daryl watching? I love Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl likes to do all booking.
Yeah, he has helped us several times book a few guests, right?
Yes. He's online right now. He said, and I see Jacob is on.
He made a comment earlier.
Jacob,
Oh, yay.
the ninja. I don't see his post anymore. What happened?
Oh, you'll have to ask him.
So how you been? How you been doing?
Good. Very busy. It's an Olympic year.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think all gyms are busy.
Yeah. I didn't think about that until yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yes, it's a good
It's a
thing.
good thing.
So you've been traveling quite a bit, and when we first reached out to you, you were coaching at a camp, correct?
It's possible. I'm not sure when you first reached out.
It was a couple weeks ago. That was your
Okay.
responsibility.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I work with the national team. So we have our national training camps in Houston. So, and I work with also like the developmental athletes. So we have our developmental camps, our national team camps, and they all happen in Houston. And they generally happen, once a month or once every 2 months.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about you getting started in the sport of gymnastics, because I'm told that you weren't a tiny tot.
No. Wow. I have to go back. I feel like it's a different life. It really does. It feels like a different life. And so I have to like shift back to, okay, wait, where was I? How old was I? So I started in gymnastics, actual gymnastics, when I was 9 years old. Prior to that, I was a dancer. My mom put my brother and I in dance from age 4 because we loved to perform in the living room whenever they had friends over. And so she wanted to give us some guidance for all of that exuberant expression that we did, so that, next time we performed in the living room, it looked good. So she put us in dance classes from the time we were 4, and then we started competing in dance. So if you watch like the dance competitions that you see them on YouTube, and they do a lot of acro stuff and dance stuff, the introduction to starting to learn gymnastics or acro, at least the acro side of it, was through dance. And dance competitions. But then I watched because back then, obviously, we didn't have access to gymnastics all the time via social media.
Exactly.
Whenever it was on television.
Yeah.
And so my first exposure to seeing gymnastics on television was the '84 Olympic Games. My parents are sports fans. They watch all of the Olympics and major things of different sports. So when I saw Mary Lou Retton win the Olympic medal, because she looked like she was having so much fun doing it, I decided that was what I wanted to do, and I was relentless with my parents.
Wow.
We lived in rural Illinois, central Illinois. No, cornfields. There were no like gymnastics facilities anywhere near where we lived. So my mom became my first coach. I started in power tumbling because that was the only thing that existed that was kind of close. And they had some equipment. They had a set of bars, they had a beam, they had like kind of a patchwork floor, but not like a full like 40 by 40. And so we made it work, and because I wouldn't let it go. So finally she started teaching me gymnastics. And that's how I started gymnastics.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So what is your mom's background? Was your mom a dancer?
No.
So she just learned it because she wanted to teach you.
She wanted to help you.
I love that.
Me. There were no other coaches. Dedication of a mother. She went to congresses, she went to clinics, she read books, she watched videotapes, and this is how she learned and, learned all like the rules and the ins and outs. And she learned how to teach me gymnastics, at least through that first 2 years, year and a half.
I'm glad.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great story. So you were doing tap dancing when you were younger with your brother?
I was. We did tap, jazz, ballet, and lyrical.
Lyrical. Oh, I used to do lyrical as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I did that, and I did ballet, and I did jazz.
Oh,
I
okay.
think dance is a wonderful foundation for athletes, period. I mean,
Yes.
there's so many football players, I'm not sure even today, but at least like back in the day, that used to actually take dance, ballet.
Oh
specifically.
yeah, I did hear that before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like to improve the flexibility in the Achilles, to improve their footwork and their agility. So,
Wow.
good job, Pedro.
I, I was in a dance company called the Dancing Elephant.
Yeah. I found a program
She found the
a
program.
few years
She
ago.
said, "What is this?" Yeah, because we were called the Dancing Elephant because everybody was over 30 years old.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I was the only.
There's footage of this somewhere? It exists?
Footage?
Oh yeah, there is.
We did find some
There
footage.
is. We found
It is not very good footage.
it's VHS.
It's on the VHS and the tape.
Yeah,
Yep, the VHS tape.
yeah, this was a long time ago. I don't think my wife was born yet.
I was born. So Betty, you mentioned Mary Lou Retton. So were there any other women that you looked up, or even men that you looked up to in the sport of gymnastics that you can remember that maybe you admired?
Well, so now I am aware, obviously, of far more female gymnasts that existed during that same time that I do look up to, but in hindsight, I didn't look up to them then because I didn't know of them.
Okay.
You know, I didn't know of them in that time unless you were in the Olympics on TV.
Right.
You know, there was no way for
sure.
me to see, right? So, I mean, during that time, it was like the athletes I read about maybe in books, and it was, it was Mary Lou Retton, and then from that time between her and me, it was like there was Phoebe Mills and there was Christy Phillips. Right. And notice that there are no Black or brown athletes that I'm naming because they didn't exist in my view, right? I mean, I know that Diane Durham was doing gymnastics. I know she competed with Mary Lou, but I never saw her because she didn't have the opportunity to make it to that Olympic team.
Yeah,
so
she got injured.
Her or of her until after, when I was already doing gymnastics. When I moved from Central Illinois to a gym in Chicago called Illinois Gymnastics Institute, coach was Todd Gardner. He was one of Diane's first coaches before she moved to Karoli as well. So that is where I learned of Diane's legacy and her, her influence on the sport. And then many, many years later, I learned about Lucy Collins.
Okay.
I had no clue about at all. I mean, like the least amount of exposure I think was for that woman and that team, I would say, because obviously that was the boycotted Olympics. It was 1980, right? No. Wait. Yes. I don't know. Yes. It was 1980 was the boycotted Olympics. And then 84. No. Yes. That was oh my God. Yes. It was the one that US didn't participate in. So Lucy Collins was on that 1980 Olympic team, but she never got to realize her Olympic dream because the US didn't. And then she retired from the sport shortly after. And then there was the 84 squad. So while I was a young budding gymnast, Mary Lou Retton, I looked up to Phoebe Mills, I looked up to Christy Phillips. And then again, remember, I was like one of the first. One of the first Black women at that level. I think on the national team with me at the time, there was maybe one other, and it was Stephanie Woods from Capital Gymnastics in Texas. And then Dominique Dawes came after.
That was after, right?
Yeah.
That was after. Because I was noticing the Olympics there, like in the early to mid 90s there. Wow, that is amazing. So I know this is kind of, I don't know, maybe like a loaded question, but how does that make you feel being being a pioneer?
I'm glad I didn't like fully realize that then. You know, it seems like it's once you have the awareness of it, then it feels like pressure. At the time, I was oblivious, you know, in many ways, until I started recognizing and noticing. Because also in my gym in Chicago, when I moved to Illinois Gymnastics Institute, I was not the only one. I had several teammates, black teammates, and we were strong, we were powerful, we were great friends, and you know, it was a very, very diverse team that we had. So it wasn't so like strange or weird to me until I moved into the higher levels of the elite gymnastics world. And then I started realizing, like when I was going and competing around the world, that there are very few. There was one other black athlete from Canada, Stella Ume, who was competing at the same time. And of course I know that because, you know, you get to world championships and you're like, oh my God, hi! There's someone else.
You guys do the
That's cool. I mean, it's true.
When I first started coaching.
Oh yeah, you tell this story all the time.
Yeah, and there was no black at all up here in New York, upstate New York. But I always had that smile. I was always smiling. And people were smiling back at me. I didn't realize that the reason they were smiling is because they never seen a black person before. So they were all smiling at me, and they're so friendly, these people. And just like you, I was oblivious to the whole thing. Until some years later, somebody told me, you know, when you first came into the scene, we didn't know what to make out of you, so we just used to smile at you. I said, oh. So it was hysterical.
Wow, my, how times have changed. Though.
How times have changed.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. But they all stand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of them, and one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is because a lot of people don't realize or don't know. You know, so you know, everybody's talking Simone Biles, yes, but they all stand on your shoulders, and a lot of people are not aware of that.
Yeah.
You know, including some of the new gymnasts are not aware, and I think that it's very important to keep that history alive. Because with Diane Dorhan, for example, I knew everything about her. She sent me a note. I had a note that I saved for a long time from her. And it was on a napkin. And I sent it with my boss at the time, Buddy Goldsmith, and he brought it to me. Diane sent you this. I said, really? She don't even know me. But she knew that I like her as a gymnast because she was so powerful. And then you came into the scene later on, and I said, wow. I mean,
so I think that's a good segue into the skill that that we discussed before.
Yes,
we had our
you have two skills that were named after you, the Okino. Of course, I knew that everybody was waiting when you went on the beam to do the Okino. That is not the Okino, but it was actually I have a video of it.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't. Were you there?
I didn't know this.
Huh?
Were you there? Did you go to Worlds?
I was not there, but we were all waiting. Okay.
You were watching the television set, the kind that had the tube in the back.
Yes. Okay, so here's the Okino.
Okay.
Next, there's the Okino, a triple turn with the free leg below horizontal submitted by American gymnast Betty Okino in 1991. Despite carrying an E rating,
That's the
That
Okino.
was awesome. That was awesome.
Now, she was the first one, obviously, that's why it carries her name. She was the first one. People were having trouble doing just a single turn. And then you competed several times. Huh?
I said, we still struggle with that.
Yeah.
Full turn.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to like when the announcers, when somebody did a full turn or a double turn, which also you did a lot of double turns when you competed. But they used to say, oh, she recovered very well. Like nobody noticed. but they said Unity recovered. It was funny when I heard that. So how did you get to be the first one doing the triple turn?
My dance background. In dance, we turn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
although in dance the turn is outward, and in gymnastics we go inward. So I would take, everything I was doing in dance classes. I had a beam at home a big block of wood that my dad stapled carpet to, with some legs, and I would move that out into the sidewalk or out into the yard, somewhere where I had room, and I would practice my beam routines. And so I was still in dance classes, and so I would always transfer like my dance routines that I did onto the beam, and I would play to music and dance. And so then I would play with turns. And so, I started trying to do, like the dancer turn, and I was like, this doesn't really work. My pinky keeps getting caught. So let me try to do it the other way, but do it in the same way, that same prep position from fourth position that you do in dance. And so I just started playing that way. And so I was doing triple turns. I don't know, maybe I was 10 when I started doing it, obviously very inconsistently, but just playing with it. And then it just progressed from there.
That is amazing. How to do something and like, oh, okay, no one else has done it before. Like, okay, they're gonna name this.
That's what did the first one.
Exactly.
But I didn't know that at the time. Like I was playing around with it. Like you don't really think of that. Athletes now are very aware. Like, if anyone does this, I can be the first. I want to get it named. I was aware that I wanted to get something named after me, though. That was like one of the goals I had written down on my goal sheet when I was.
And what was the other thing that was named after you?
It was a dismount off bars. The one I did at the Olympics.
And I thought I uploaded that, but
what is the dismount?
It's like a komanichi, but it doesn't come from toes. It comes from a free hip. Same thing.
Yeah, I used to try to get one of my gymnasts, Andrea, to do that. Let's do the Okino.
Well, Kathy is on now. Let's ask her to do it when she comes to it. And Sarah, the comment we posted before was from one of our coaches, Coach Sarah. We call her the dance lady.
Yes.
Because it comes from a dance background. She also took Tiny Tots with Coach Pete way back when. And so she was just saying how amazing Betty's turn was when you were showing the floor.
I was showing her the floor routine.
Yeah. And Kathy just commented. She posted some hearts. She's also a former gymnast.
That's funny. Kathy was a champion on being as well.
Her and her sister,
yeah,
Carol.
her and her sister.
Yeah.
Daryl has a small comment.
Was that Bella and Marta would speak Romanian when they didn't want the kids to understand them, but they didn't know Betty understood Romanian and would translate to them. I love that. I love that so much. I love that so much. So today in the gym, the kids were stretching. We had the upper levels, leading the stretch. And I wanted to say something to my husband, so I spoke to him in Spanish. And then the other girls, because they're taking Spanish in school now. They're like in 7th and 8th grade. It's like, wait, what did you say? What did you say? I'm like, I'm not telling you. I'm not teaching you Spanish because then I won't be able to speak to my husband in Spanish without you understanding.
Yeah, they take Spanish.
Oh,
they're going to come in knowing it.
Yeah.
This is now motivation for them to learn.
Yeah. Yes, that is the motivation.
We're going to have to learn Romanian now.
I know.
Wait. You're intelligent, Romanescent.
Oh!
I don't. So I got to learn it.
So say ce faci.
Bine, mersi, mulțumesc. Why do you know Romanian, Pedro?
Because there's a lot of Romanian coaches around here.
Yeah, that's very true.
And just in case they're talking about me.
Yeah. When we went to the state meet competition this weekend, I was sitting next to a family of Romanians. And then I moved over to the other side of the bleachers to go sit next to my parents. And there was another family speaking Romanian.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
at least 4 coaches that are
Four
Romanian
coaches
that,
that are
are in
Romanian,
this region that we compete against. It's crazy.
Which
And
region are
what-
you guys? 7?
We're
Where are you?
6.
6.
We're region
with 6.
6.
New
6.
York,
That's when I saw you, when you came
Rhode Island.
to speak for Region
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
Rhode Island, yep.
You know, and I don't know, because all these Romanian coaches, you know, they're marrying Dominican now.
Oh, really?
Actually, there's 2 of them that I know, and they married to Dominican. So my wife may be part
Part
Romanian.
Romanian. Maybe I am. So Betty, how was the transition from competing gymnastics to teaching dance? Had to be a smooth one because you had a dance background, right?
Yeah, it was. So I well, after Olympics, went to University of Oklahoma. During that time, I was doing some touring shows.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I went to SeaWorld and did a performance show that was choreographed by the former UCLA head coach, Valerie Condos. And then from there, I moved to LA and I auditioned for a dance agent, got a dance agent, and then started dancing professionally. So I was in class a lot, dancing and acting. And then from there, I moved back into gymnastics. Like my friends who are all gym owners and coaches, you know, pulled me in through asking me to choreograph just one routine and just this. And it's like, okay, that'll be fun. And then of course it sucked me back in. So the transition from gymnastics to dance was, you know, it was kind of like where I've been my whole life, between gymnastics and dance.
And you were on a couple of movies, I think four movies, right? So 4 movies, 3 movies, and
well,
TV
I did more television than
Mhm.
movies, but I mean, I think I did I was in a couple movies.
Listen, sometimes when you do so much, you don't remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't do that many
understand
movies.
that.
I mean, there were some B movies, I think.
Well, one time we were sitting down watching a movie, and then towards the end of the movie, we were enjoying the movie, and then my wife popped up, and she forgot she was in that movie.
What movie was that?
Glass or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you forget. Sometimes you forget.
Yeah.
Hey, that's you. So I had the opportunity to watch you work with your dance, and that was amazing. It made me come back. I wanted to just rearrange everything with because I have a gymnast that's very flexible. Haley.
She's like a rubber.
And I show her your floor routine because I wanted her. You see that move right there? I want you to do that move right there. And because the elegance that you have while you dance, I seem to be lost, you know, with some gymnasts, you know. So what do you think?
I feel like it's lost. It was for a while. It's starting to come back, but I feel like it was lost in our sport when compulsories went away. For elite
for the Olympics. Yeah.
I feel like when that was still required as part of the progression, you never stopped doing compulsories from the time you started doing compulsories. It just changed and evolved. Whereas now compulsories end at level 5. And you know, you don't touch that foundational basics again. But then it kept progressing, and the elite compulsory was, if you go back and watch any of the elite compulsories from like 80, 88, I don't know what they did in 84, but from 88 to 92 to 96, I think that was the last time it was done. I think it was done in 2000. Anyway, they were advanced ballet routines. Like the level of technique required to execute those compulsory routines to the level that they needed to be was advanced. It was advanced ballet and dance training. So because of that, that was foundational in our practices every single day, so that we could execute the compulsory that we had to compete no matter what, all the way until you're finished with the sport of gymnastics. And that in gyms and in programs laid that foundation that everybody simply played by. And when that went away, then you didn't need to anymore. You could stop right here, you know, and then keep working on your leaps and your jumps and your turns and, you know, do some fun choreography and your routine, but it didn't build the foundation in the same way. And I think that's why like that finesse was lost, and why I think the sport is trying to bring it back.
But you also have strength, because I think you were the only one that I seen at that time that was doing planche on the beam.
Oh, Kim did a reverse one. Remember? There we go. Arched. I think I can almost do. There's the shape, kind of. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
She did it.
Yeah, you know, and then back then I saw Tracy do circles, flares on the beam.
Flares, that's right.
Crazy.
Yes.
Flares on the beam.
She was known for that.
Yeah. There was a lot of great creativity on beam, I think, back then. Like I loosely remember, and you guys who are watching this and have no idea of the people that are being mentioned, go look them up, their routines on YouTube, because it's worth getting some creative inspiration of how to work a beam. Look up Tracy.
Awesome.
Look up Kelly Garrison.
Yes.
Routine. I mean, she moved on that beam like it was a floor. Who else? I don't know. Those two at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coach Sarah, I hope you jotted those names down. She's really good about like trying to find creative ways to put different moves in the girls, especially with the optionals in their beam routine. So I'm sure
she loves choreography.
She jotted down those notes.
She's gonna have to meet you one day. We're gonna take it to Congress.
Daryl says Kelly G had an amazing mount.
Yeah, she did. Round off full. It was really good. Stands the test of time, because we're not seeing that many round off fulls of under beam today.
I'm thinking that in my head. I'm like, okay, that's crazy. Wow.
I used to dance with Kelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
No, just dance with her. I can't.
You danced with her where?
I used when we went to Congress. You know,
at
the
on the
floor.
floor.
You mean the party?
At the
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, you two were professional dancers together? I didn't know that about her.
No. But yeah, when she came and she used to do her clinics on beam, I used to dance with her, and I danced for Mario Grospa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure to be one of the demonstrators.
You know, that's rare that someone says pleasure with regarding to be the demonstrator for Muriel. She was hard. She was hard. She was hard. Very, very brilliant woman, though.
Yes. There was nobody there to demonstrate, and she said, anyone want to do Torjete? I said, and I raised my hand, and she was shocked. I said, like, oh, it's a man. And I said, you know, I went, and when I did it, she was shocked again.
Did you do it successfully?
Yeah,
and
I did
like
it. And I did it, and I did it really well.
I need to see the video footage on
that. But she remembered me years later because of that. And she told my daughter. And my daughter was really happy to hear about that. You know.
It would be.
So, so you have clinics now, and you have something with dance. That could people reach you?
Yeah, they can. We are launching a new app called Dance for Gymnastics. It's based on the subscription we launched 1.5 years ago.
That's amazing.
Pedro has an elegant hand. I'm looking at the comments.
you know that guy.
That's my husband in there commenting.
Yes.
He thinks your hand is elegant, Pedro. I don't know what you must do with your hand, but.
Oh, yes. It's because I play the piano. Well, I do Tai Chi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I think we talked about that when I met you.
Okay, so we're launching a dance app.
Yes.
It's called Dance for Gymnastics. You'll be able to get it in the App Store
Starting
at the end of April. And it has dance challenges for all the different levels. So dance challenges and jazz and tap. It has different, like, not tap, sorry. It has different warm-ups. It's all geared towards gymnastics mainly and or dancers. But it's based on the idea that focus isn't quite as long as it used to be.
No.
And the love for TikTok. So the challenges are presented in a similar way that you're used to viewing on TikTok. And the way you learn each little combination is similar. It's in bite-sized chunks rather than learning like a full, however long dance that you do when you're in a dance class. It's 10-minute chunks. So you'll learn a ballet sequence, or you'll learn a hip hop sequence, or you'll learn a rhythm challenge that combines footwork and rhythm with hands. And all of them are just in 10-minute chunks. And once you pass the challenge, a sticker pops up and you get a little award, and then you move on to the next challenge. And so there's for level 1, there's level 2, and there's level 3. Level 3 is advanced. Level 1 is your beginners who are just starting out with gymnastics, just basic and dance stuff. And then there's level 2, intermediate, and then there's advanced. And the whole goal is to get athletes, gymnasts, young people engaged in learning and in dancing. It's invaluable, I think, to us just in relieving stress, in forming brain-body connections, like so many different things that dance can contribute to.
And they could go to your website and get that?
It's going to be in the App Store.
Yeah, it's going to be in the App Store, and it's called Dance for Gymnastics.
Yeah. I think that's important because, a lot of people, and one of the things I try to tell my coaches is not to teach everything. And I also tell my Tai Chi students the best way for me to teach you nothing is to teach you everything. Because then when you go like this, you forgot if I teach you the whole thing. You forgot the beginning. But I also say that when you eat a steak, you have to cut it into pieces. You can't just take the whole thing in. So with that app, you listening out there, people?
Sarah's listening to you, yeah.
With that app, it's going to be great because you take those little bites and digest it and you get it. And because I was witness to your teaching, I know that it's going to be great. I know it's going to be fantastic. I was there, and Ashley was there, and my daughter was there. These two right here, let me see.
Yeah.
No, not that one. Those two were there. That was right after your clinic. Yeah, and they're watching now.
Hi, guys. Yeah, you'll be able to also you could go to danceforgymnastics.com as well to learn more about it.
Okay, I posted that in the comments as well. I'm going to post the link. Hold on, danceforgymnastics.com. Dance for.
So I think that just watching you is motivating. But do you have any words of wisdom for the young kids that are coming up? Don't mean to put.
I would say be patient with yourself and and look forward to failure because it's inevitable. You have to fall and you have to fail in order to grow and to become and step into the person that you're going to be. And that's as an athlete, that's as a human, that's as a person. So you're gonna fail, and you should look forward to failures because on the other side of that is immense growth, and on the other side of that is your success. But without that fall and without those constant failures, you never get that opportunity. And I think today there's kids that are afraid. They're afraid to make a mistake. They get depression when they fall, or if there's some sort of a failure, like it's somehow a reflection on them, the person, and it isn't. It's an opportunity, and I would like that message to go forth.
That's an awesome message.
Mm-hmm.
I think it resonates not only with kids, but also with parents and coaches, that
Oh
they should
yeah.
learn that. Yeah, because even some coaches get frustrated a little way too easy
Yeah.
because they don't understand. I think I posted the other day saying that I am persistent because my first step wasn't perfect.
That's a good one.
I teach that. I teach the kids, if you look at the first step that you took, you would have given up
Yeah.
because it wasn't perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that is great advice. I mean, I think there's
That
nothing
was
that we
that
have
was
to
definitely
add.
a nugget right there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go, I hope that people go back and watch this because it's, we knew it was going to be good because everybody was talking about how inspirational and motivational you are. I said, yeah, but that's my cup of tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I like.
Oh my gosh. Betty, thank you so much for joining us. This was such an amazing interview. I posted the link, danceforgymnastics.com. Also, that it will be available in the App Store for download at the end of April, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
We got to read what.
Oh, more than her accomplishments in gymnastics, her amazing choreo. Mm-hmm. Betty and her husband Jacob are exceptional human beings who compassionately care about people just because they're people. It's the foundation of their wisdom. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Daryl's such a good writer. I mean, every time he writes a post or a comment, I'm like, I could do more.
Just like, hey guys, good morning, and it's just like,
I could do better with my words.
I know him for a long time. Me and Daryl go back years and years and years.
How do you and Daryl know each other?
He used to be a representative for Speed, and then he coached when I was coaching.
Oh, for Speed Anderson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he coached up here. He's from New York.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be from New York. So that's how I met him when he used to coach along with me. When I was the only black guy going. He probably wanted to
was smiling at you.
Smiling at me.
He didn't know what to make of you.
Well, back then they just thought I was crazy. So because I used to jump from balcony.
Mm. Oh wait, there's a competition before we let Betty go. There's a competition. Jacob posted another comment. You said that Daryl writes so eloquently. Thank you, Pedro and Christy. Your kind hearts and insatiable appetites for improvements are an example for all to emulate. Okay, who's next? Challenge. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they do have the same gift.
Yes, they do.
Daryl and Jacob.
I sing a lot of his posts. Jacob, the ninja.
That reminds me of, remember in Living Color when it was one of, I don't remember which Wayans brother used to be the guy that was in prison, but he would use all these long words.
And elaborate words.
Yes, it didn't make any sense. We're just gonna start typing that on Facebook.
Jacob is very inspirational. He's very inspirational. He's right on my,
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
On the things that I like. And because when I first talked to Jacob, I wanted to bring you both in because it was February. And we did,
Valentine's Day?
The Valentine's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah,
next year.
But I think you were busy at that time.
Next Valentine's Day.
Post his comments. Homie, do Oh God!
I like your hat, Jacob.
Love that show. He loves it.
That's so funny.
Kind of funny.
Oh my gosh! Again, Betty, we thank you so much for coming on. We can't top that, and thank you for coming on. It's such a meaningful to
discussion.
This yes,
I'm sure it will be an inspiration for a lot of people.
Yes.
And just showing up. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, guys. That was fun.
It's a pleasure.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's awesome.
So there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a gracious person. You weren't there when well, obviously the girls were there, Ashley and Angelica. You weren't there, but the level of knowledge and especially on dance is unbelievable. And I think that a lot of people should witness that because, like I
That
said,
was amazing.
yeah,
That was amazing. I hope Angelica and Quill enjoyed the show. Oh, good
homie,
Lord.
don't play that.
Homie do play that.
Oh, homie, do.
Homie don't play that. Not even on Christmas.
That's very good.
Thank
That's
you.
very good. You should be an actress.
I'm going. No, I can't imitate. I can't remember the name of the character because he always used words that were inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
I'm gonna chastise my authority in the emancipation. It was just crazy. And I'm not gonna say what he really did say, but it's just funny.
That was awesome. That was also awesome. I could have just let her talk, but you gotta keep it entertaining.
She also had something else right after this,
Right
so
after,
we were
so
trying to be
we had to
mindful of time constraints
her time.
and everything.
I mean,
David Allen, was it
David Allen Greer? Yes.
Was it David Allen Greer?
Yeah, when he did the movie thing, the movie review. Remember? They played the gay guys and the movie that.
And they would be like, hated it. Men on Film.
Men on Film.
Men on Film was the name of the
correct,
skit.
Yes. Jacob, we have to have you on one day. Yeah, talk about your ninja things. I miss your post. I haven't seen them in a while. There's a couple of shows that are coming up, and both of them were former gymnasts of mine. Actually, one of them was martial art as well.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about cooking in one of them. And the other one, we're going to be talking about one of our students that had cancer. And there's a lot of things that she found out along the way. And I saw her video and I was very touched by it. And so I sent her a message. And she said that she will come on. And when I sent her the message, I didn't realize that there's a lot of things going on now, people talking about cancer. Yeah. Especially because of Catherine is her name, the princess from
Princess Kate,
Yeah, and then there was a couple of other people, Jane Banty, and she just found out she was.
Really?
She just found out that she has cancer. And then I saw another friend of ours that's very sick. I think that we should do that show because we're going to bring some light to it, a different approach. I think it's very important.
Well, everyone's experience is different. We had, who did we have on? Searching.
Yeah.
What is her name? Oh, okay. So the guy's name, the character's
name because
Oswald Bates. Oswald Bates is the character name, and it was played by Damon Wayans.
Okay.
He was the guy in jail. I can't think of her name. She came on. She sent me a bag afterwards. It'll come to me. But
Daryl, remember that he was on the show for the Valentine's.
Yeah, him, Jenna Beth, Keenan and Anna.
And
there was one of
Daryl know who the person is because he's the one who recommended. Everybody should have a
Phil
Howard.
Everyone should have a Phil.
We got the book someplace there. And
everyone needs a.
I can't remember the name now, but they send you a bag.
Everyone needs a Larry.
Everyone needs a Larry. That's right. That's
right.
Daryl is right on there.
Daryl is the best. Oh my gosh. So you guys can see in the background before we let you. Yes, Jennifer Greenhut. Before we let you.
Yes.
So I have a mandolin on the couch. Still don't know how to play it. But apparently it is strung the exact same way as a violin. I should just go get the bow and start playing it like a violin.
Yeah, you should play it. And I got you a manual with that too. Came with a DVD and everything. But anyway, yeah, those shows are coming up. The one is about cancer, and I don't know who's coming on first. So and the other one is cooking, and he's going to be in a competition, and he had cooked for some famous people. He used to be the chef. But he's doing a competition and he's showing people. I saw one of his videos showing people how to do pasta from scratch.
Oh, I worked with an influencer who does pasta from scratch all the time. He's like, "What's wrong with you? It's easy. Just put the flour and the eggs and you mix it up." He's right off the boat from Italy, and so he has a big accent. I'm like, "Okay, Marco, we'll do it from scratch," but I'm not doing it from scratch.
So those shows, I can't believe, and I was thinking Jennifer, but I couldn't think about Larry. But anyway, that was a good show.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to say love, peace, and harmony.
Harmony.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.